welcome to the Kiss Limelight. Glad to be back here in the Kiss Mix Lab with someone who I must say I love and have utmost respect for, and I'm really pleased to have here on the Kiss Limelight, or in the Kiss Limelight, and I'm referring to Sydney DJ stalwart, agent provocateur, stalwart. But no, you're an...
That sounds like a horse.
You don't look like one. But no, seriously, John, you've done so much for the dance music industry. In fact, you won the inaugural Lifetime Achievement Award back in the...
It was called the Most Outstanding Contribution to Dance Music.
Yeah, mate, what year was that?
I think it was about 2001, maybe 2000, something like that.
Proves how much you achieved all that in that.
I achieved many things, yes. I could go on.
But John, of course, is one of the infamous Ferris brothers, who are overlords of the Sydney DJ scene, I would say. Would you think, I mean, come on, and I asked you to speak candidly with me. Is that fair enough to say about you and your siblings?
Well, just please define overlord for me.
Well, no, you really, I mean, you're the guys that have established the Sydney scene, and unfortunately watched it crumble, not to your fault, but the government, and then to see it's fortunately coming back again. But no, you guys, you, Pee-wee, Stephen, have all been so important to the Sydney scene and Australian scene, and it's just awesome to have you here.
Thanks, Tim. Very nice to be here too. It's lovely to be here. Lovely to see you. And thank you for everybody here. And I mean, we kind of, it was never planned. That was the funny thing about the brother thing.
Yes.
Is there's a lot of competition there, you know, always has been. So it's not like we're a cabal where we get together and have a secret meeting, go, what are we going to do? How are we going to control things? It was more very competitive and, you know.
But I would have thought a little bit delineated in the sense that you and Pee-wee were more on the modern front, whereas Stephen was more on the funk disco vibe. Would that be fair?
Yeah, well, that's a very good description. You could also say that Pee-wee and I liked the faster BPM and Stephen liked the slower BPM. That's another way of looking at it.
That is another way of looking at it. But all of you have achieved amazing things in your own sense, from writing music for the Olympics to you've done some amazing stuff for. It's in your bio. I'm trying to think of who did you do music for, or were the music director for?
Oh, you mean events?
Yes.
Oh, like Colette Dinnigan or fashion events and stuff like that. Yeah. Different events, New Year's Eve events in Sydney. Lots of different things, corporate things as well.
And Stephen's always been, I guess, the go-to man for the down-tempo, safer stuff, and maybe the more mature crowd.
The godfather of soul. Hello. Mr. Funk himself.
Yeah, exactly.
He is a very funky man.
So, looking at that, it's pretty amazing, really. I mean, that happened. Why was there lots of music in the house when you were kids?
Yes and no. My parents were not. There was no musical instruments. There was not that music thing. But I think it was because my mother had 6 kids in 7 years. Mm-hmm. So she was pregnant for a long time.
Yep.
And so what happened is that as we grew older, as a gang, but we would have lots of friends, and so we always had lots of friends, and somehow music got involved, and so it was always like, you got to hear this, and we would play it to each other, and everybody would come around and we'd listen to music. Yep. So there was a lot of music that way, and we all had our own different musical journey, and we did have listen to a lot of music, and so but then the DJ thing was quite a different sort of journey. I mean, Stephen got into it because he had a band and he would tour.
It was Flotsam Jetsam.
Yes. Yeah, and he would tour around and he would DJ to start the show off. So he was the opening DJ.
Yep.
And I got into it because I used to have parties where there was too many people.
Too many people.
Too many people in a house party, and there was things got too destructive.
Yes.
And yes, there was an event and a party at my house, a terrace house, and it just really got out of control. And we decided that was enough of that, and we needed to actually do it somewhere else and have somebody else take the shit.
Yeah.
So that's how I got into it, and people then said, "Oh, you want to come and DJ over here?" And Pee-wee got into it. He'll probably hate me for saying this, but he got into it because he used to say, "I'm never going to be a DJ like you guys," but he broke his neck. on a skiing accident.
Right.
And he was in his sort of full, headgear, head clamp things. And whilst he was recovering, which took a long time, somebody gave him a turntable and he learned how to DJ.
Right.
And then that's how he got started. So
Very interesting.
It was quite different. We all had different paths. But that's the funny thing about the differences is that in probably 1986, I got a gig at a place called Spago's in Sydney, and that was at the time Stephen Hawkins was DJing, which I didn't know he was DJing there, but I got asked to do a private party there by a friend and said, we're doing a private party. Stephen Hawkins normally DJ'd there, which I didn't know.
Of course, Stephen was the DJ in Sydney.
Correct.
Yeah.
That's right. And the private party went really well. And the owner of the clubs or the bar, the restaurant or what it was, he didn't have a license of anything of sort. It was completely illegal. Said, you want to come and DJ again next week? I went, yeah, sure.
That's how it started.
And I stole Stephen Hawkins' job,
Naughty
which
guy.
he was very angry about.
Yes.
Well, anyway. But anyway, then bit by bit, started doing all the different nights and got Stephen and Pee-wee involved as well in different nights, and we ended up doing sort of 3 to 4 nights a week there at Spago, and was playing pretty much funk and hip hop.
Yeah.
That was kind of sort of thing. And this is where the divergence really happened. Is that when Jack Your Body came out?
Yes.
And I loved it. I thought
House music was born.
I thought it was one of the best things ever. And I would play it, and people would come and say, what the fuck are you playing this music for? This is terrible.
Oh, I thought you were going to say, what is this? This is amazing.
No, you can't. This is just robot music. What are you doing? I was like, that's great. And so this is where the funk thing split.
Yep.
And so, where Stephen and I, for example, went our different ways.
Yep.
Stephen was on the funk side and I was on the house, the repetitive beat side.
Yeah. Yep.
And so was Pee-wee. Pee-wee at that stage had been doing a lot of hip hop gigs, and he was taking out he had a sampler as well, and he had rappers with him, and he would do this whole show around, sort of DJ / producer / whatever. Yep. And then he sort of at that point in time flipped over as well to start doing the harder music, music, whatever you call it. But that to me was where things diverged completely from funk, But
and of course, back in those days too, you had King's Cross, which was, as we'd like to remember it, the Wild West, and there was clubs. It was just going off, wasn't it?
Yeah, well, it was a different thing there because there was no such thing as a nightclub license,
Yep.
And so all you could have in Sydney was a thing called a restaurant license with a place of entertainment permit, a POPE they used to call it.
Yeah.
But to get that POPE, you used to have to people have to dine. Well, you dine and then you could dance.
Yes.
Right?
And DJ.
But the thing was that there was no such thing as a nightclub license, and the Spago at that point in time didn't have any license whatsoever. But what we did is that we got 2 policemen to be our doormen.
Very tactical.
Right, yeah. And the police would kind of turn up every week and we would make them feel good.
Well, that was very good of you, John.
Very good. And the detective sergeant from King's Cross would feel very good about us.
Oh, good.
And so that was the way we kept the place going till 6 o'clock in the morning.
Right. Okay.
Even though we had no licence whatsoever.
Yeah.
So,
Well, the good old days, as I say.
Yes.
But I think I need to segue to the track you're going to play, which I think
of course.
we know what you're going to play
Yes,
now.
indeed.
So this was the track that really was the eye-opener for you.
It was indeed. So this is Jack Your Body. We got it on here.
Yeah,
There it is.
put her up.
Where are we? Here we go.
All right, and away we go.
Yep. Yes, Steve Silk Hurley.
Jack Your Body.
Jack Your Body.
John.
Okay, Jack Your Body. All right.
Back with you, Jack Your Body, Steve Silk Hurley. One of the tracks that, like yourself, changed I was DJing and house music wasn't born, and then all of a sudden stuff like this came out of America, and it was...
Out of Chicago?
Yeah, but it was weird because here it wasn't accepted originally, but the DJs, we wanted to play it. And there were small clubs that were open to it, but a lot of the bigger clubs, you know, there was still disco or rock. You were playing a combination of all that sort of stuff. But that was certainly a track that really changed
things.
Everything.
A lot. Yep, sure did. Yep.
I often think, John, the 80s to me, I mean, people say, what was the greatest decade for music? I would say the 80s, because you had the birth of hip-hop, you had the birth of house music, you had the introduction of drum machines, samplers. The 80s were revolutionary in my mind.
Well, definitely revolutionary. Yeah, it's arguable whether it was the best.
Yes.
But well, definitely
as
revolutionary.
a DJ, I'm biased.
I mean, there's plenty of good music around now.
Yeah. So, John, started out DJing. Then and you can fill in the gaps because I don't know everything obviously about you. But later on, you were working for Sony Music back in the Dennis Hanlon infamous days with Dance Pool, was it? So dance music started to take off in the 90s. We're talking, aren't we?
Yeah. Well, this is the backstory. There is that I was actually Spago, and then I got involved in putting on parties at the Horton Pavilion for a couple of years. And that was sort of 88 to 90. And then that all fell apart. But then I got work. I then started playing on 2SER.
Right.
Sydney radio station.
Yep. And
a show called City Express. And the purpose there was to play new music and talk about new music and introduce it to people, etc., etc. The funny thing is that every week I'd go into the radio station and there'd be a fax in those days, a fax in my little box, and the fax was from Sony Music or other music companies, but Sony Music, and it would have in there, please put in your responses to our new releases, you know, C&C Music Factory, what do you think? Well, it wasn't C&C, but anyway, yeah. You know, Wah Wah Nee, lovely band.
Yeah, well, they were really ahead of their time, actually.
But they wouldn't put the music in there, just the piece of paper. And every time I'd go, you fucking guys, you know, the music's great, but why don't you fucking send it to me and send it back, fax it back to them?
Yeah.
And they never would come in. And I'd go, what is wrong with you people?
How am I meant to know if it's a good track if I haven't heard it? Is that what you're saying, basically?
They just would send the fax in to get me my response, but wouldn't send the music in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Crazy.
I know. What kind of promo was that? So I would swear and say, you know, whatever, bugger you each time and change it up every week and send it back to them, fax it back.
Yeah.
And then one day I got a phone call from a guy there, Gil Robert, He said, "Oh, John, I've been seeing your response sheets." I said, "Oh, have you just? And what did you think?" "Yeah, well, why don't I come in and have a chat?" So, okay, so I went in there and they said, "Look, we're looking for somebody who can help promote our dance music." And I said, "Yeah, sure, okay."
We're talking what year you reckon?
1992.
2? Yep.
So I did. So I went in there on a contract basis, 3 days a week, and to advise them on what, you get a release sheet from all the different Sony companies around the world, and it would have all the different releases, and and I'd say, yes, well, you need to bring in 200 of those and 200 of those,
right.
and 200 of those, whatever it was. And then I'd send it out to the DJs and have DJ meetings, and
Yep.
And it came to a point where, and then my other role was to say, you should release this record because it's doing really well in the clubs.
Because they were coming in as imports.
Well, they'd come
places
in
like Central Station and stuff.
No. Well, there was that as well. That was a different thing. So I'd get the promos in, send them out, and then also say this is starting to work in the clubs or whatever it would be. And then, strangely enough, it was Culture Beat and Mr. Vane.
Mr. Vane, calling Mr. Vane.
That was blowing up in Europe.
Yep.
And I went to the head of international here and said, you guys probably should release this record. And in those days, releasing a record was a bit of a big deal. You actually had to commit resources to it.
Well, you had to print vinyl for a start. That was
all that stuff.
Expensive.
And print a CD, and it was a whole thing. So it wasn't a decision taken lightly. And he was, no, that's shit record. Chucked it in the bin. Okay. And next time it came in, I said, look, guys, it's now #1 in European clubs. Perhaps you should do it. No, if you think so, you come to the meeting. So I went to the meeting, and it was a bizarre situation. In those days, Sony had this big boardroom, and a Monday morning, 9 a.m. meeting. I mean, me being in a club all weekend, 9 a.m. And I was asked to, the head of the company sort of went round the room and tore shreds off everybody around the room, and then came around and said, "Okay, Ferris, well, what are you here for?" And I was like, "Oh, okay, well, I'm here to say you should release this record." "Well, really?" And I said, "Yeah, here's the reason why." "Okay, well, what's it going to do?" I said, "I don't know what it's going to do." He said, "Well, is it going to be a number what? How far in the charts?" I said, "I don't know. That's your job." And he said, "Well, what do you reckon?" I said, "I don't know. Top 20? "Oh, okay. What about #1? I went, "I don't know. #1, maybe." And so anyway, it got released, and then when it finally came to the charts, it came to #2.
Ooh.
And in those days, the charts were done manually by stores.
Yes.
And the stores would say, "We've sold 20 units of this record, it's our top seller." And there's a bit of flexibility there, you can say.
Yes.
And it came in #2, and the reason why it came in #2 was because it came in #1 in every state except Victoria, and it came in #2 in Victoria. And the head of the company came around and said, "Right, Ferris, what are you doing?" I said, "What do you mean?" He said, "We're going to Melbourne right now." It's a Monday morning. Got in his nice limousine car, drove to the airport, came to here, went to, I think it was Richmond Oval.
Yes.
Right? And the whole Sony company from Victoria was gathered in the Richmond Oval. And he went, "Right, into the toilets." We went into the men's toilets. Right? And he said, "Right, which of you fuckers, didn't fucking get this fucking record for Ferris? I promised Ferris was going to be #1." I was like, "Don't blame me." And this person said, "Well, it was #2 for me." "Right, out." And so he went and sacked people for not getting it to #1.
Wow.
"Right, next week's #1." And next week it came #1.
Wow.
Yes.
A bit like the old payola that happened.
A little bit like
in
that.
America,
Well,
which got banned, where they were paying the DJs to play on the radio.
Yeah. Well, there was a guy here in Victoria his nickname was Flogger.
Flogger.
And the reason was because he could flog anything.
Okay.
And he was particularly good at flogging off white goods.
Oh, okay.
White goods served to retailers.
John, I'm sure there's many good stories, but we better play another track that has influenced your career.
We'll get another track. So yeah, the track is, so what I'm going to play. So part of my DJing world has been all about acid music.
Yes.
I love acid music. And
Acid house?
Any acid music.
Right.
Yeah.
As
acid.
in the 303-909?
Yep. And a particular moment happened for me. Whilst I had been listening to the Chicago acid house stuff, it was good. But a particular moment, a turning point for me, was when I was in the club and this next track played, and it was Abel who was playing. And I've got to say thank you, Abel.
Yes. I remember Abel.
Yeah. And when it played, I was like, holy hell. And he played the whole 9 minutes of it.
I think I might know what it is, but go on.
And so it was hard floor experience, which I'll start playing now, but we'll just in the background.
Yeah, sure.
And it just went on and on and on and on. I was like, oh my God, what is this? And this record changed my life and turned me on to acid techno.
Yep, and that was it.
That was it. Yep.
That is
Back again. That is Hard Floor Experience, Part 1.
Yeah, it's a bit like
Not Part 2 or 3, but Part 1.
what is it? Reminds me. Yes, Higher States of Consciousness. It reminds me a bit of that.
This was way before that.
Yes.
Well, not way before, a bit before. Yes.
Yeah. So, John, you're working at Sony, DJing. You put on some huge parties. Down there in Darling Harbour at home.
Yes.
And
yes.
you had Plastic.
Yeah, had Plastic for 10 years. Yep.
A lot of I mean. It's amazing what you did or have done in Sydney as far as and the longevity and the consistency.
Yeah. It's been things change, come and go, and as you know that in this world you've got to wear many hats.
Yep.
And to keep going.
Promoter, DJ.
All that sort of stuff.
Yep.
I've been fortunate the last probably 14, 15 years now that I've been working with Ministry, Tomorrow Music, and which gives them a certain amount of stability.
Can you explain, so Ministry and Tomorrow, how that worked out? Because Ministry of Sound was London, then it became Tomorrow, and Tim McGee, all that. So
Yeah. So basically, Ministry of Sound it's a brand.
Yes.
The club started as a club, and then becomes a brand, and then that brand can be licensed out.
Yep.
And so Tim licensed the brand
For Australia.
Yep.
And for his company, Tomorrow.
It was called,
TW.
no, it was called Ministry of Sound Australia.
Yep.
So he licensed the brand for Ministry of Sound as Proprietary Limited Australia, whatever it's called, right? And then Sony Music bought Ministry of Sound Recordings UK in probably 2015 or whatever it was.
Right.
But here, Ministry of Sound Australia still had the rights to that brand here.
Right.
So, and then that lapsed after a couple of years. And so we then had to change from Ministry of Sound Australia to Tomorrow Music.
Right.
But we still have the rights to Ministry of Sound live events.
Yep.
So we can and merchandising.
Yep.
So we can put those events on.
And now they do the classic series. They do
all that Testament and all that sort of stuff. Whereas, and bizarrely enough, as corporations do, Sony Music, who'd bought Ministry of Sound Recordings, then completely just folded it. It doesn't exist anymore.
Right.
The club, still Ministry of Sound in the UK.
Yes,
still lives on.
Still kicking.
But that's got nothing to do with Sony. Sony bought the recordings, but not the club.
Right.
So the club still operates, and the recording things in the UK is a little sub-branch of Sony, which they put out a couple of records a year kind of thing.
Right.
It's not a thing anymore, really.
So you're working now. Are you doing any AR and AR?
I don't do A&R.
You do promo, basically?
No.
What's your role then?
No, my role is a bit diverse. I do licensing.
Yep.
So I put music for film and TV advertising.
Yep.
And then also I do, as you know, I do send music out to various people. So
Promo.
Yep. Yeah, send music out to radio and to people who work in the sync industry, that kind of thing. Also any venues and things like that. And then I do also deal with the events. So I help license the events as well and stuff like that. So
right.
Yeah.
So
and still DJ.
Yeah. Probably the longest career in the industry as far as record company involvement.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
in the dance area,
you
would probably have the longest career.
Yeah, well that was the thing. So I mean, that was the thing about the Sony thing, was that the idea was to promote dance music in the industry, which is the whole dance pool thing.
And that was called Dance Pool?
It was called Dance Pool
for a while.
Yeah, and my role there was to licensing music for Sony Australia. So that's when I got involved in. Licensed Prodigy for Australia, Fatboy Slim, all that sort of stuff, and then one of the ones, of course, and then one of the ones which I'm going to play the track next. A license was a track called Twisted, and Twisted by Stuart Who, Wayne G and Stuart Who.
Wayne G, that's right. Yes.
And the thing is that it's a pretty
twisted song,
pretty twisted kind of voice, and when I played it to the Sony people, they said, "There's no way we're going to release that," and I said, yeah, I reckon though it's going to work. So what I did is I sent out a bottle of amyl nitrate to all the radio programmers around the country.
Right.
In an envelope, and they got this bottle of amyl nitrate, which they thought was hilarious. So what happened is that they couldn't play the record before 9 p.m. at night because of the language, but they could after 9 p.m, which they did. So, what it was in.
But that must have been. There was no rules. That was one they put in place themselves. The radio stations.
I don't know, but there was the thing was they couldn't have certain language before 9 p.m.
Awesome.
And so what was the station here? B104 or whatever it was. I forget what was it in Melbourne. Today FM in Sydney.
Yeah.
You know,
Or here Fox.
they all played this thing.
Yeah.
And it went to number 2.
Right.
And yet, you know, it's kind of like it's a club record with pretty full-on lyrics.
Yes.
And to this day, I've still got an award with a bottle of amyl nitrate, you know, and for the record because it went gold.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah, amazing.
Amazing.
Before you hit play on it,
Yeah.
you just mentioned Licensed Fat Boy Slim, The Prodigy, and you've also supported them as a DJ.
Yeah, yep.
So
Yep.
pretty
I've got
impressive
stories
too.
about them, yeah.
Yeah. All right, Twisted.
Yeah,
let's get twisted, John.
Let's get twisted, shall we? Can we hear it?
Excuse me. Do you fuck as well as you dance? Are you as hot in the bedroom as you are on the dance floor? Oh, really? See ya. Later. Go on. Get your kit off. No, not you. Put it away. Take your dog-like face to another place. 'Cause I can't look at it. Let's get twisted. 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 Excuse me. Do you know where the dealers are? I mean, can you get me high? You've lost the fucking plot. Why fuck shouldn't I? I wanna feel the gear pumping through my veins. I wanna feel the drugs fucking up my brains. I wanna dance all night and fuck all day. I want cocaine on a breakfast tray. Is that okay? Think you're pretty hot, huh? Well, you're not. It just isn't going on. You're trying too hard. You ain't sex on legs. You're dregs on legs, man. And you know it. Get out of my face. If you could see yourself, you'd look away. I did. I'm sorry. I'm out of it. So she. State of her. What she like. I ate her.
John Ferris, so good to have you here at KISS and to talk all the wonderful things we've been talking about, reminiscing about Australia's dance music culture, your Sydney perspective in particular.
Yep.
I always used to love coming up to Sydney, and the Cross used to just, it was so wild. No one, I mean, we had a similar thing here with the warehouse parties and so forth. No one had any idea what was going on. The Cross was a bit more in your face, but because it was so corrupt, I think, with the police, nothing ever happened.
No. Well, it was that's a whole other story. Yes. It was kind of corrupt.
Remember the Q Bar there in Oxford Street?
Yes.
I mean, all the gay clubs.
Yes.
Some of them, some of the early ones in Oxford Street. If you said the names, I'd remember them. Come on.
Which one?
I'm talking 80s.
Which clubs? Spagos,
yes.
Berlin Club, no.
Yes, Berlin Club. Yeah. Jamison Street.
Jamison Street.
Yeah. John, you're going to do a mix for us.
Yes.
And what are you going to do as far as... Are you just going to read the crowd that isn't here?
Yeah. Well, tomorrow night I'm playing at an event called Heart.
Yes, Heart, which is a queer, hard techno party.
Yes, right.
Yep.
Yeah, I think it's at 24 Moons.
24 Moons,
yes,
indeed.
24 Moons, yes, tomorrow night. So
Northcote.
come along, people. And I'll be playing sort of, going from a sort of a harder, not hard house, a harder house-ish feel, up to a techno-y sort of driving techno-y thing.
Yep.
Probably from 100 and what I'm going to start at, probably 126.
Oh, that's slow, mate.
Slow, right?
Yeah.
And then go up to about 150.
Oh, well, that's...
I hope.
Well, 150 BPMs now, now I've got a 20-year-old daughter, that's where they like it.
That's what?
140, 150. But what are you going to play for us now? A bit of taste of that?
I'm going to start with a slower vibe and then build it up.